you, Mr. Mayor. Good afternoon, good evening, everybody. How are you? We're about to get started. First of all, it's great to see all the youth here, all the different sports teams, soccer, baseball. It's great to have the energy in here. I'm going to bring up my colleagues. Councilman Josh Diegues, Councilman Luis Collazo. I just want to personally, I guess the story goes back a while back. I've known Coach Richie and his wife Lori for a really, really long time. And I just want to say, if you allow me to take make some personal, just my personal thoughts. Richie is a person who's an educator and has always put kids first. And about 8 years ago, actually in a tournament with his son, he got really, really ill to the point where he almost passed away. He almost died. He had total liver failure. And, they didn't know if he was going to make it. It was in Chicago when that happened, Richie, right? And he had to stay there. How many months did you stay in Chicago, in the hospital? Almost a year in the hospital, guys. Almost a year. And he finally, thank the Lord, got that liver transplant. And he's here today. And not only did he come back stronger, but he said, you know what, I got a second chance. He still did what he loved, which is coach young gentlemen like yourselves. And I just want to say, Richie, we're so happy you're doing a lot better. You've touched so many lives, including mine. Lori, you're a warrior as well, and your kids, for supporting Richie through that terrible time. And I just want to, if everybody can just give a round of applause to Richie. Right. And I also want to congratulate, of course, the Miami Lakes United Soccer Club's boys under 14 for winning the national championship. Congratulations, guys. To the parents, being a champion ain't cheap. I know. I've been part of travel teams. You've been part of travel teams with the boys. You still are. Parents, you sacrifice so much for these children. Young men, sorry. I hope you know how much your parents love you and how much they sacrifice for you to give you the opportunity to do what you did. You got to travel, you got to see the country, and your national championship. So congratulations on that. I want to start by handing out some certificates just to say thank you and congratulations. First, of course, to Coach Richie, certificate of Richie Pelaez for recognition for being part of Miami Lakes United Soccer Club under 14 team. Sure, thank you. Then went undefeated for 17 straight games, outscoring opponents 50-7 while moving through the field of play in First Florida, then regional, and in the country of winning the President's Cup National Championship Series. Richie, if you can come up. Congratulations, man. You got the rest? Yeah. Okay, sorry. Now, also, the Coach Walter Chirinos. You can come up as well. Congratulations. Congratulations, man. Great job. Great job. Here you go. Rebecca Dudley's that? We have one for manager Rebecca Dudley, who's not here. And Annette Garcia's not here as well? Oh, and manager Annette Garcia, if you would come up. Congratulations. Captain David Garcia. Captain David Garcia, you here? Woo! Actually, you know what? Let's let the coaches bring up the kids. If you want to bring up their names.
Captain Alex Morejon named He's our goalkeeper who was, yesterday he was named Golden Glove for the national tournament and top 11 players. Captain Riley Dudley. Midfielder, defender, forward, all the above. Alejandro Salgado, midfielder, coming back from injury, ready to come in strong. Leading goal, MVP for the tournament, Mr. Gabriel Ortiz. Midfielder, defender, forward, Mr. Gio Blach. Midfielder, Jacob Chirino. Midfielder and one of the most important goals of the National Cup, Mr. Joseph Aplicano. Oh, sure. Defender, right back, Mr. Jonathan Vasquez. Midfielder, Mr. Nicolas Perez. Midfielder, forward, Lucas Barrios. Forward, who scored the winning goal in overtime to win the regional championship, Mr. Justin Garzon. The motor of the team, the heart of the team, Mr. Julio Alonso. The big man, the most important defender on the field, Mr. Steve Alvarez. That's what they said. That's what other teams said. Other teams actually asked for his birth certificate. Our youngest player, Noel Sepulveda. Had big shoes to fill in. Played left back in all of the national game. Suffered a slight concussion. Came back strong. Nicholas Mulana.
Thank you. We have a surprise for the team and for the parents and for the coaches and managers. We have a proclamation from the mayor of the town of Miami Lakes, and it reads, whereas youth athletic programs play an integral part of communities throughout this country, including the town of Miami Lakes, and whereas our youth soccer program provider, the Miami Lakes United Soccer Club, looks to enrich the lives of all participants by instilling a sense of hard work, dedication, and love for the game. And whereas the Miami Lakes United Soccer Club's boys under 14 was the first team in the club's history and South Florida as a whole to win the President's Cup National Championship. And whereas the team went undefeated for 17 straight games, outscoring opponents 50-7 while moving through the field of play in first Florida, then regional in the country, and then in the National Championship Series. And whereas the team that has now played together for over 6 years, having started in the development program with the club, is now ranked number 4 in the state and number 6 in the country. And now, therefore, I, Manny Sid, by virtue of the authority vested in me as the mayor of the town of Miami Lakes, and on behalf of the town council and 33,000 Miami Lakers, do hereby proclaim August 8th, 2023 as Miami Lakes United Soccer Club Boys Under 14 Day. Congratulations. Picture time. You guys want to move this way a little more? So you got everybody?
Yes, do you want to have them here?
Yeah. Yeah, come over here, guys. Come here, move this way. Up there. You guys want to go up? Yeah, let's go. You guys want to go up on the dais real quick? Let's go. Get up there. Come on, get up there. Get up there, get up there. Round of applause for the boys.
Congrats, guys. Congrats. God bless. National champions. Give it one more time for these folks. Good job. Hold up. Somebody has a speech. Captain has a speech. Hold up. Hold up. Hold up.
On behalf of the Miami Lakes Foundation and fellow council members, we want to thank you for all your help to get us to nationals. With all your help, we wouldn't be there. And we just want to thank you for all that you gave for us, because with all the families going through hard things, we needed that extra support, and you guys helped us do it. So we thank you very much.
That's beautiful. Yeah, why don't we take a picture downstairs with a team, not downstairs, but and the foundation board members that are here. I guess come on up. But I wanted to share some remarks with Coach that really, Coach, I wanted to share some remarks with you. While your players were trickling in, I had an opportunity to speak to a couple of them, and I said, well, what's next? What's next in, what are you guys going to do? How did it feel to win a championship? Felt great, right? But the response they gave me, I was completely unprepared for. They were just happy to have gotten to where they gotten with the hard work that they put in. And as a coach, that is probably the most profound impact you can have on somebody's life. Teaching them that hard work pays results like that. And I wanted to share that story with you so you would know what your players thought of you. So thank you so much. You got it.
On behalf of the founder, we knew when we were having the meeting and they came to us to make that presentation, we knew we had a winner. After hearing the coach and after hearing the parents that were there, we knew you guys had what it took to become champs, national champs. So our congratulations to you, and glad that we are part of your success. Thank you.
Let me just say one. For those of you who I don't know, I'm Ed Peterman. I'm the town manager for the town. But there's something that's important about the foundation. And the foundation assisted. We put in a little bit of money towards their travel and helped them get to their tournament. But the foundation, what's important for everybody to understand is how, you know, right? So the foundation money, the money that's in the foundation didn't just fall from the sky, right? So Ms. Lynn Matos, who's the creator, the originator, the heart of the Miami Lakes Food and Wine Festival, from when she first created the festival, said, I want the money to go towards the youth in our community, towards educational programs and community enrichment programs and things of that nature. She didn't take the money and take it with her and put it in her back pocket, and she says that she wanted to give the money back, right? So every one of you who may have gone and had a couple glasses of wine or had some food to eat at the Food and Wine Festival, all of that came back full circle to help these young men in their endeavor to be national champs. So.
All right. So all the soccer players were just recognized, and I know soccer is probably one of the hottest sports right now with all the Messi craze going on. But I have the honor and the privilege to coach on a much smaller field, right, on a baseball diamond. And one of the opportunities I've had while serving on the town council has actually been to give back, not just to the community by serving here in the town, but by coaching up young kids. And I had the opportunity over the past 2 seasons to coach an outstanding group of young men. And it is truly a labor of love, and it's not something that I've ever done by myself. And I do want to ask some fellow coaches that coach alongside of me, if you can please come on up. Please come on up. Coach Lugo, Coach Losada, Coach Valcourt, if you can come on up for me, please. Now, I have never been a baseball guy, and these guys have heard me say it. These guys are the driving force behind what I'm about to say. But I think what we've all been have been committed parents and people who love this community and love the kids that we coach. And I wanted to thank you guys for all the work and the time and the dedication that you guys put in. We've had an opportunity to be a lot of time together, right, for the past year. And I can tell you I wouldn't have wanted to do it without without any of you part of it. And I want to thank you guys for the time that we put in. And while we celebrated an undefeated season of the soccer club, some of the work that you guys did was incredible. Not one season, 2 seasons, undefeated the first season, 1 loss the second season, in a draft league. What does that mean? These kids have not been together for 6 years. That means that these teams get broken up over time. Only 4 of the original core stay, and they come back. That speaks to the outstanding work that you guys have and the commitment that you guys put in to create champions and constantly do it and do it again and again. So thank you so much. With that being said, when you make champions, they want to continue to be winners, and this was our last season together. This was the last opportunity that a lot of these kids had to play, and they're playing right now on other teams. So we're going to have about half the team come on up to receive these certificates of recognition. I'm going to ask you guys to hand them out as the players come up. But we're going to start off with our first player here, Luis Nieves. Come on up. There you go. Good job. Now, some have pretty cool nicknames, and I'm gonna go over them. And the ones that I can't say for reasons that I'm gonna get censored, I won't say. But his was Sonic. Figure it out. He was one of the fastest kids on the field, so he was. That was his nickname. The next one is Rhino. Ryan Garcia. Come on up, Rhino. Rhino was part of the original team as well, and he has 2 rings. You missed your certificate. Now, Rhino has a really cool story on how he got his nickname. He said when he was little, he was pinched by a rhinoceros. They gave him superpowers, and that's why he's an excellent baseball player. Good job, Rhino. Now, Dylan, this guy captured my heart from day one. Dylan Esquire Garcia, come on up. You're not Esquire. We changed it. He was the best lawyer on the team. He would argue all the calls, and he was always right. So we changed it to Esquire. Now, this is one of the most, I know this was going to be a tearjerker for one of our coaches, but his son, the heart and soul of our team, Adrian Luguito, come on up. Okay. Good job. All right. This one's Baby Altuve, my son, Lucas Colazo. Come on up, Lucas. Lukey. Another tearjerker, another coach's kid, Maddie V, Matthew Valcourt. Now, this kid has been on 3 championship teams. He was with the Angels, 2 with the Padres, and I think he just expects to win every time. Like, these things fall out of the sky. It's a good job, Maddie. Good job. Talk about kids that leave an impression in your heart that you never forget. This is one of the coolest nicknames. Tyler Hero Terrero. Come on up, Tyler. Tyler? Congratulations. All right, guys, group picture. Coaches, you want to say a few words?
So again, how Coach was saying, sorry, I'm losing my voice. It's been a great opportunity to help, develop these kids in baseball. Again, to have these kids at this age and be able to go through 2 seasons, hard-working season, long nights, almost 6 days out of the week, and have them give the effort that they've given has been a blessing for us. We're very happy to be part of this team. Luis had definitely a lot to do with it, keeping us together, always leading the way. So very proud of this team and very proud of the opportunity to be with these boys. Thank you.
Thank you. I was honored to work with these kids. I love these kids, hardworking. Coach Lugo, the hardest working coach out there. We practice more than anybody. I'll share this story. I shared it before. It was raining out, and somebody said, I drove by the field, and there was Coach Lugo in his canoe throwing batting practice. But I really want to thank the parents. A lot of the parents showed up, snacked, all kinds of giveaways, especially Coach Lewis. Him and his wife just gave amazing amount of their time, money, effort. We were never wanting for new baseballs, for food, for snacks. So I want to thank them very much and thank the parents.
First of all, I want to thank you guys for putting up with me, most of you, for 2 years. It was practice 7 days a week. It's not easy. Okay, I want to thank the parents for bringing them and putting up with me. And most of all, I want to thank Coach Matty, Coach, and Coach Eric, and most of all, I want to this man right here. I met this man a year ago. He approached me in Miami Lakes, told me if I wanted to coach for him. And I told him, yeah. 3 months later, we didn't see each other for 3 months. We met again, and I'm a man of my word. I give you my promise. 2 years later, we went, I believe, 40-1, 2 championship seasons. And what I believe in, hard work does pay off. We're there 7 days a week. While no other team did it, we did it. That's why we brought 2 championships. So always remember that, okay? Championships, the only way to be a champion is you got to work at your craft every day. You don't love it, you live it, okay? And whoever tells you something different, it's not correct. You got to work harder than everybody else, okay? Thank you, guys. It was a pleasure. Unfortunately, I'm not going to be in Miami Lakes anymore. Circumstances, I don't want to even get into that. I'm opening up a new chapter in my life. I mean, Miami Lakes, I guess I'm going to be, Miami Lakes doesn't want me, I go to the next best place, Hialeah. so I'm not going to coach here anymore, unfortunately. But, you know, to Lewis, it was an honor. You're always going to be my brother. And I don't even want to say anymore because I gave. But I love you, man. Love you.
Likewise, and before we turn it over, I do want to mention the team. This was a team effort. I do want to mention the boys that are not here, who are training or getting here. Jay Chris, Hawk Mora, Kamori Buya Modest, Daniel the Dragon Rivas, Brandon Lopez, Kevin Pino, and Jaden Hernandez. Those were all part of the team. Thank you all for your time. Thank you. Get by the flags, guys? We get by the flags or over here? Where do you guys want to go? Over here? All right, let's do it right here.
You want to bring the trophy into the photo?
No, that's a different tournament.
Ah, okay.
You're right next to the mayor. Good evening, everybody. My name's William Perez. I'm the chairman of the Veterans Committee, and we're here in the honor of the over 40 pickleball champions. No, just kidding. Just kidding. Actually, we're here to honor some former members of the Veterans Committee. The Veterans Committee is composed of not only just veterans, but volunteers who have a love for their country and a love for patriotism. Martha, Lourdes, Michael have been part of the Veterans Committee for several years. And if you've ever been to the Memorial Day ceremony, it's because they helped put it on. If you seen the 9/11 ceremony, it's because they put it on. If you were at the ceremony we just had for Rosa Nell Hammer, who just had the Rosie the Riveter, she's 103 years old, the Veterans Committee helped put that on. So why is that important? Why is honoring our history, why is honoring our sacrifice of veterans important? Because if you think about all the young people that came here and having fun playing under the sun and in freedom, it's because veterans and those who support veterans have made that happen. You know, we take so many things for granted in life, and we sometimes forget to thank those who have helped us get to where we are. It could be our parents, it could be just dear relatives, but a lot of times we forget to thank the veterans. But one thing I can say about the town of Miami Lakes, thanks to, where's the mayor? That mayor. You were disguised by the flag. That mayor and this council is the town of Miami Lakes is probably the best place in honoring our veterans and honoring our first responders and honoring all those who sacrifice and keep us safe. That silent group of men and women, that silent group of volunteers that keep those veterans' service in our memory, but yet without them, we literally got nothing. So anyway, without further ado, I'd like to read the certificates for each one. Certificate of recognition presented to Lourdes Iglesia in appreciation for the service of Town Miami Lakes Veterans Committee. Your dedication was instrumental in the town having several veteran and patriotic events completed. These included Arbor Day, Memorial Days, Patriots Day, Veterans Day. It's through your dedication and service that our town is in the forefront of supporting veterans and first responders. Again, thank you for your service and the job well done. Certificate of recognition presented to Martha Gonzalez in appreciation for your service at the Town of Miami Lakes Veterans Committee. Your dedication was instrumental in the town having several veteran and patriotic events completed. These included Arbor Day, Memorial Day, Patriots Day, Veterans Day. It was through your dedication and service that our town is the forefront of supporting our veterans and first responders. Again, thank you for your service and a job well done. Michael, I'm not going to kiss you. Certificate of recognition presented to Michael Coote in appreciation of your leadership as the chairman of the Town of Miami Lakes Veterans Committee. Your dedication and leadership was instrumental in the town having several veterans and patriotic events completed and initiated, including Arbor Day, Memorial Day, Patriots Day, and Veterans Day. It was through your leadership and service that our town is the forefront of supporting our veterans and first responders. Again, thank you for your service and a job well done. Signed, July 11th, 2023, Mayor Manny Sid. Thank you. We'll hug you. Michael, I'm going to put you on the spot since you're the former chair. Do you want to make any comments?
I would like to thank the city council and the mayor in particular because they have been tremendous advocates for veterans. And I would like to thank my fellow committee members, Martha and Lourdes. Thank you so much for everything you contributed in the years that you were with us. I mean, it was an exponential growth, and it was largely due to your efforts. So thank you very much. And I wanted to thank the town of Miami Lakes. An interesting thing, I actually grew up in the town of Amherst, New Hampshire. Small rural community of about 10,000, incorporated in 1760. And I joined the military as a 21-year-old man, 20, a few months shy of 21, with the intention of coming back to live in the same area that I had grown up with my friends and family. And I don't know how many people are familiar with the story of Rip Van Winkle, Washington Irving. A man went up into the hills, fell asleep, and when he woke up, he came down, it was many years later, and he didn't recognize anybody, he didn't recognize the community, and nobody recognized him because he went into the hills as a young man, and when he came out, when he went back, he was an old man. And that's exactly what happened to me. About 10 years before I retired, I was 35 years on active duty, served in many conflicts in many places around the world. And when I went back to the town a few years before I retired with the intent of identifying where it was I wanted to live, I realized that the town had moved on without me, and it was no longer my town. So I said, well, gosh, you know, now what am I gonna do? And so I discovered the town of Miami Lakes, you know, incorporated in the year 2000. You would say, well, it's a young town, but it had the same heart as a town that had been around for hundreds of years. And like everything, all endeavors, people that own businesses, and to that end, I'd say thank you to Mr. Fred Senra, who's been an amazing supporter of our efforts on the Veterans Committee. But I think everybody recognizes, no matter what we do, it's always about the people. And so this might be a young town. It might be here in Florida, which is a long way from Amherst, New Hampshire. But to be fair, it's identical. The same virtues, the same integrity, the same people that graced the small town of Amherst, New Hampshire are the same people that I found here in Miami Lakes, Florida. And so to the town of Miami Lakes, I want to say a heartfelt thank you. And I have one of my children here with his wife and son, and I'd like to say thank you very much to them, having lived 35 years with a dad who was constantly gone. And one of my trips, a very quick aside, I was going over to Afghanistan, and I said goodbye to the family there on the tarmac. And as I left to join my team that was getting on the plane, my son, then I forget, 10 years old maybe, now he's in his late 20s, yelled out to me, he said, Dad, you know, he's crying because I was going to be gone for some time. I said, hey, don't worry, son, I've been gone before, I'll be back. And he said, no, you're not. You're not coming back this time. I said, what? Don't tell me that. And so we always get a bit of a laugh now after the fact, but I can tell you it was a long 8 months because I said, I think he knows something I don't know. But with that, let me say thank you very much to the town and to all of you that make this town so beautiful. Thank you.
Let's call this meeting to order. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilmember Ruano. Present. Councilmember Garcia.
Present.
Councilmember Fernandez.
Present.
Councilmember Dieguez. He's stepped out, but he's here.
He's present.
Yes, Councilmember Collazo.
Present.
Vice Mayor Alvarez is going to be logging in a few seconds, and Mayor Sid.
Present.
Mayor, you have quorum.
Thank you,
And
Madam
let the
Clerk.
record reflect.
Let's all
Councilmember
rise
Dieguez
for
is
the
here.
prayer led by Father Londoño from St. Benedict Catholic Church. And welcome, Father. I know you're a brand new priest there at St. Benedict, so welcome. Many of our residents attend your parish.
So let us call the Holy Spirit to give us wisdom and discernment, especially during this day. So many questions, many answers that you need to give to people, but especially to God. So I invoke the Holy Spirit upon us. And something that is always in my heart that I want to bring to all of you. We cannot build a spiritual life without knowing who we are. And I think this is the fundamental question that all of us we have in ourselves. Who we are and where we're going. So today we ask the Blessed Mother to be with us, to give us wisdom, discernment, to give us the answers and the desires of our heart. And I hope and pray the desires of our heart will be always leading us to our country, to the people, and to serve one another. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. God bless you.
Thank you, Father, and welcome again. Let's remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance, led by Town Attorney Raul Gustesi.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you very much. You may be seated. We have Ariel Fernandez from the Better You Minute with our, I believe he's on.
Mayor, as always, it is an honor to address you, the Town Council. Mayor, as always, it is an honor to address you, the Town Council, and the residents. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. As always, it is an honor to address you, the Town Council, and the residents of Miami Lakes. Most of us drive our cars every day. It is a process that requires precision and thought. However, you cannot drive your car.
Yeah, IT, it's not on the screen where you turn the volume up. It's on the controls, but that's fine.
While looking in the rearview
We'll move
mirror
on.
all the time.
Just
Much
let it
like
play and then
driving,
we'll move on.
Life can't be lived while always looking in the rearview mirror. We have to keep our eyes. Looking forward. Looking in the mirror should be an act of recalling memories and learning from our past experiences, not looking into the rearview mirror to live our lives in the past. Next time you find yourself looking into life's rearview
So
mirror,
IT, it's important to figure this out because there's people online that want to speak in public comments, and we won't be able to hear them either. So.
the present and the future, which is where life is lived. Because you can't live life looking in the rearview mirror.
Anything you can do. I can do better.
Residents of Miami Lakes. Most of us drive our cars every day. It is a process that requires precision and thought. However, you cannot drive your car while looking in the rearview
Well,
mirror.
we'll come back. We'll move on and we'll come back to that, but that needs to be fixed. So for public comments and for there's a council member on Zoom. Removing to deferrals, additions, deletions.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, I have two. I want to move up item 9A for before public comments, and I want to move up item 14C for immediately after public comments.
That was 9A before public comments. So what's the other one?
14C until right after public comments.
I'd also like to move up item 13B to before public comments, right after 9A.
I'll move the order of business
I'm
as
sorry,
amended.
and one more. I wanted to pull item 10K from the consent. I'm sorry. Let me make sure that I have the right letter. Yes. Yeah. Thank you.
I'll move the order of business as amended.
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
So we're going to be taking up 9A, then after public comments, 14C, 13B, and then before the consent calendar, we'll take on 10K. Council, as an FYI, I need to step out at 7:50. I'll be right back in about 30 minutes. One of my kids has a championship game that I'm coaching, so I got to run over there real quick and run right back. But I'll be right back. But I'm not leaving yet in about 50 minutes. So we're moving to 9A, Councilman Fernandez.
Yep.
Councilman Collazo.
Great. This is a special presentation, so I know this is kind of a little unorthodox. In the past, we've done special presentations, but I think we should do this one literally from the podium, right? I think it calls for that. So I think if anybody can join me by the podium. Thank you, Mayor, for the opportunity to present on the item. And I do want everybody to have the opportunity to speak if they so choose. But one of the things that I remember way before even serving on the dais, I was a volunteer for the town. I would come to meetings, and I was part of the Elderly Affairs Committee. And looking back 20 years, and every single meeting, there was a presence in the room. Whether it was a hot button issue, whether it was just a run-of-the-mill meeting, this lady would be at every single meeting. She'd be taking it in, she'd be taking it back, but more importantly, she would be involved in our community. I remember one of the first meetings that I served along with Mayor, I think you called her the defender of freedom for our community, because she would hold us accountable. She would make sure that whatever promises we made, whatever words we said, we continued to live by them. And that was very profound to me, because I've seen the impact that she has made, not just by holding us accountable, but by inspiring other people to maybe come on up that maybe weren't going to speak on an issue or maybe weren't informed of an issue. So when I had the opportunity to recognize her, I thought that one of the ways that we could do that as a body was to name the podium after her, because she has been here, stood in front of us and held us accountable. Sometimes we don't want to hear what she has to say, right? And because it's not Some of us only enjoy to hear positive things, right? And criticism shows how frail our ego may be, right? But I think criticism is where we have to listen the most. And I think as an elected body, that's what we've done an excellent job of. We kind of listen and take that opportunity and respond to the public. So I wanted to honor, and I'm glad that my colleagues felt the same way, by honoring Mita Mendez tonight, by naming the podium after her. Mita, if you can come on up.
I certainly would like to say a few things. I voted in favor of renaming the podium after Mita. I'll never forget being a kid growing up and me being the political nerd that I am, reading about a reenactment of a council meeting complete with its own Mita. So I think, yes, I think that says a lot about Mita's activism in the community. Whether you agree with her or not, Lord knows her and I have had our share of very strong disagreements on issues, but it's about the policy and it's not personal. And to me, it was a great idea to name this after her because of her years of involvement in this town. And again, regardless of whether we may disagree on the issues, I know where your heart is at. It's in this community, and you just want the best, same as I do, same as the rest of us do. And I think that every day or every meeting, when you come up here and you sometimes grab us by the ear and remind us about those promises and about other commitments that were made, I think that is part of the democratic process, and I think you're a living embodiment of that. And again, that two people that care about the community can disagree and still respect one another. So I'm very happy to support this tonight. I don't know for anybody else.
Thank you. Please forgive me, my voice is a little hoarse today. Mita, you're the reason why I am here. You are the reason why I sit on the dais, and you're the reason why I never forget that there's something in the air up there that confuses us, and that we have to always remember why we serve, how much we love this community, and the promises that we made to these residents before we sat up here. I met Mita almost 2 decades ago. I came to my very first council meeting, and she was there, and I looked at her and I wondered what she was angry about. And I listened, and every month I came back because she inspired me. She said, there's only 2 of us here. Can you be the third one? Can you please join us, because we're all alone? And so I did, and I brought others. And we have become a family of friends, and we love one another. To me, this is an honor. I think that the podium represents what you represent in our community. This is the place where you come and you speak to us and you share with us your thoughts, your feelings, and you remind us that we represent you. So I appreciate all of the years that you have spent teaching this community to do what they're doing here tonight, to all be sitting in this room, keeping us all, holding us all accountable. So thank you so much, Mita. And before I end my comments, there's a special comment from Grasshopper who couldn't be here today, but she wants to extend her gratitude as well for all of the inspiration that you've given to her. Thank you, Mita, so much.
Mita, congratulations. Public comments is, to me, the most important part of what we do up here, get to listen to all the residents. I hope this award, recognizing you and recognizing, doesn't matter whatever opinion you have in this country, you have the right to speak out and say what you want to say. I encourage everybody here, at home, to take this as an opportunity. Come out to the meetings. Avail yourself of the Mita Mendez podium. Speak your mind. I'd like to see more and more and more residents come out here, even people from out of the town, neighbors, everybody, come here, speak your mind. And this is what it's here. And I want to congratulate Lee for that, okay? Thank you so much.
Mita, so in 2012, when we decided to change the culture in the town, right? We took on a lot of people who, a lot of them believed in corruption and a lot of bad stuff going on, but you were the one who said, Manny, I'm going to be by your side to the end. And we ended up shocking the world. We won. 2016 came around. We're like, you know what? It's time to change the culture for good. And you literally not only rolled up your sleeves, you turned it into like a really cool shirt that like my kids and different folks talk about it till today. So one thing that Lewis mentioned, while yes, you know, folks may have policy differences, one of the things you always tell me, it's not personal, right? And I think it's a very powerful statement because there are people that leave this hall, they leave Congress, they leave here, and they leave thinking it is personal, you know, and people see the world like if we're in gangs, you know, like, hey, I'm in this gang, and you're in that gang, and we're enemies, you know, and I think it's important having that example and that understanding. So I appreciate you, appreciate all your efforts when you stood by my side when we were working hard. We took on the entire establishment in Northwest Dade, so I will always appreciate that. So I appreciate you, and I hope that symbol stands as an example to the future generations that we're not mortal enemies. We might have disagreements, but it doesn't mean that we're in different gangs and we got to fight every day. It means that we leave it here and we move forward. So I appreciate you, Minda.
I'm not used to speaking from this side. I want to face you. That I've been, for 23 years, I've been attending council meetings, workshops, whatever was offered. I had to learn because I was in La La Land. I didn't know anything about government. I didn't know what a resolution was, what an ordinance was. I didn't know anything. And because of my neighbor who decided to run for council in 2000, December 5th, 2000, Nancy Simon, she dragged me along on everything that she was doing because she didn't know what she was doing either. I've met every, well, now I have to knock on her door and ask for forgiveness, yes. I've met every mayor this town has ever had. I've met every council member this town has ever had, let alone staff. And it is coming here. My husband used to say to me, where do you go? Why do you waste your time? And I kept saying, because I have to sleep at night. I have to have a clean conscience before I go to bed at night. And this is my clean conscience. That's how I get over and I speak my piece. Sometimes I get my way. Sometimes I don't get my way. It's okay. It's okay. And I've been dying to see what it says.
All right, without further ado, let's unveil. Mayor, you want to do the honors? Unveil the podium. Wait, let me.
2, 3.
Oh, beautiful.
Martha Mendez podium. It's a good thing I didn't get the bathroom named after me. In recognition and honor of her commitment and dedication to the town of Miami Lakes and its charter. Thank you. Thank you.
Now you got to pose with it.
You want to take a picture? And I know you have some family and friends here. I don't know if they want to come up.
My family's here. You're going to see that I gave them all my groceries. They can stand in the front. No, they have to stand in the back. Because I'm Doris. Very, very. Nobody. Just five.
We take good care of her, we promise. Yeah, no, you guys go. Mr. Vice Mayor, we see that you're online. Would you like to opine? Understanding that there's the technical difficulty going on. We can't hear anything. Thank you, everyone.
The line has changed?
All right, we're on to item 13B. Anyone from the public wishing to speak on item 13B? 13B is a resolution co-designating 59th Avenue. Is there anyone wishing to speak on item 13B? Seeing none, public comments is closed. Any motions on 13B?
Move.
I will move.
Second.
Discussion. Anybody? Yep.
I'd just like to, for the members of the audience that don't have the agenda in front of them, item 13B is the renaming of 59th Avenue to Fred Senra Way. We have Mr. Senra here, who is a pillar of our community. He is an example to all of us. He helps us both spiritually and financially. He supports many, many of the causes in our community, and we are honored that he shares his fortune with us, both in the spiritual sense, where he guides us every day, and in all of the programs that he sponsors for the town. So we found it fit to rename 59th Avenue Fred Senra Way. Thank you so much, Fred, and your family for everything that you do for this community.
I'm sure everybody's going to want to say something, right? No, you guys want it before you vote? Yeah, Councilman Diegues.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. And Fred, like I said, this is not an invitation for you to hurry up, even though these things are normally done for those that have passed on. You know, please, we love you. Thank you for your dedication to this community. Everything you've done, for example, with the chamber, taking it from an organization that was, frankly, flailing around and then turning it around and now making it a highly sought after chamber that people want to be a part of and active with. I think that's phenomenal, and you've brought new life to not only the chamber, but then even to the Veteran Affairs Committee with all your contributions there, the Foreign Legion, the list goes on. I'm at a loss for words myself. Again, I don't think, I think everyone knows the quality of man you are, the work that you've put into this community, and your contributions to make it a special place in our little corner of Miami-Dade County. Thank you for that.
Thank you, Councilman Diegues. Councilman Fernandez.
Fred, from my time on the Youth Activities Task Force, I know full well, you know, how much of a centerpiece of this community you are, and everything and all of your contributions to the kids in this community speak volumes and make a huge impact. So, thank you.
Councilman Collazo, then Councilman Garcia, then I know Councilman Alvarez are trying to fix the audio issue.
Thank you. When you talk about individuals that are just good human beings in their soul, you're up there. You're one of the first people that come to mind. You've never had an agenda. You've never done it for any other reason than to help other human beings. And it's not just here in Miami Lakes, right? It's wherever you are called to. And I think that's something that what you've shown us as a community is who we should strive to be as human beings. And I think it's an honor when you can leave that type of legacy behind, and I'm just honored that you're part of our lives here. So thank you, Fred.
Thank you, Councilman Collazo.
Sir,
Councilman Garcia.
I just want to thank you first for serving your country, right? And then you came to serve this community as well, your family as well. Your family has a legacy here for years to come. And you're more than that. I haven't known you well for a long time, sir, but what I have known from you is you're a mentor. And a lot of people look up to you, and that's earned. You know, that's earned by the good deeds you do every day. And the things that you do that not many people know of, but you do it anyway because it's the right thing to do. Fred always puts inspirational prayers on Facebook, and I read them every time you put them up, and it's an inspiration that you consistently have God in your life, and you try to do the best and do to others as they would do unto you, and you prove that every day. And this is just a small token of how much the entire town appreciates you and your family. Thank you so much, Fred.
Thank you, Councilman Garcia. Vice Mayor, I believe the audio is fixed.
Can you hear me?
We got you now.
There we go. Thank you, Mayor Sid. Fred, thank you for being a pillar in our community and really embodying what leading by example. As a true established leader in Miami Lakes, I think part of leadership is leading by example, and it's evident in your involvement in all facets with Miami Lakes, whether it's with the Economic Development Committee or the business luncheons that are once a month. You know, again, you're someone that exemplifies and embodies what truly it is to be a Miami Laker, but more than that, a leader in our community. So I thank you. It's an honor to know you and to have connected with you. And I look forward to connecting with you for years and years to come and learning from you. Thank you.
So when I first got elected, everybody's like, man, you gotta meet Fred Senra. He's such a great guy. He's such an incredible philanthropist. And I think when I had a chance to sit down with him, you notice, I mean, Miami Lakes Automobile is incredibly successful. All the other car dealerships that he runs are incredibly successful. But his belief in corporate responsibility, in corporate citizenship, I mean, it got to a point that I actually felt bad even asking Fred, because he never says no matter what the cause was. But then I realized there was something deeper. There was something behind. And one of the biggest measures of a human being is when you look at their family, right? You look at their faith and their family. And not only is he a great example for philanthropy in our community and other CEOs, but for other families in the town. When you talk about what a family is in the town of Miami Lakes, those are the Senras. I mean, these are folks that not only are great human beings as neighbors, as friends, but their faith is so powerful. I mean, I run into them almost all the time at church, and I see them, and just the way that they are with every single person. I mean, that type of example, that well-roundedness, that's what a Miami is about. So having 59th Avenue designated Fred Senra Way, I think there's no better way to honor you, but also for future generations that you leave that example, that Senra name behind, that's all about faith and family and loving your neighbors. So Fred, I look forward to voting yes on this, and Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilmember Dieguez.
Yes.
Councilmember Garcia.
Yes.
Councilmember Ruano.
Yes.
Councilmember Fernandez.
Yes.
Councilmember Collazo.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Alvarez.
Yes.
Mayor Sid.
Yes. Oh, we're not letting you off on this one. You got to say a few words, eh?
Came down with a bit of a cold the last 2 or 3 days, so my voice kind of goes away, and then it starts, acting up. But I still don't think that I'm worthy of this honor. At times, believe it or not, I've thought about just saying, let's maybe give it to somebody else. Give it to somebody else. Because there are so many people that I know in this town that have worked very, very hard for so many years, longer than me. But it is an honor. It is an honor. I still think also, as I said, that first night, if you guys knew something I didn't, because of this honor being given to people that pass away to another world. And so I said, well, maybe my days are numbered. You know, my days are, shorten it up, and I don't even know, and, nobody knows really. So, but again, it's, it is an honor. And never thought in a million years that my name would be on a street, on anything, really. I have my two great nephews here that are the Senras, going to be the Senras of the future, Sebastian and Lucas. And, they will carry the name, and I'm sure that they'll be proud of it for many, many more years to come. So thank you so much, and thank you to all of you for being part of this. Thank you.
By the way, Tico's like waving me down because he says he wants all of you to stand here to take a picture. Like you guys know Tico, so if you guys are okay with taking, we'll stay up here. If you guys can line up here, we'll take a quick picture, unless you want to go down. But if I didn't say that, Tico would have sent me a lot of messages later on tonight. All right, we're on to the next item, which is item 14C. Well, actually, it's public comments.
No, public comments.
Then it's, Madam Clerk, this is yours.
Yes, thank you. So welcome to the regular council meeting. All comments or questions from this attending public shall be directed always to the mayor in a courteous tone, and to ensure the orderly conduct and efficiency of the meeting, public comments shall be limited to 3 minutes maximum per person. If you want to participate in public comments, welcome. Just please approach the podium and state your name and address for the record.
Gary, I know you mentioned wanting to come up as well, so anybody who's here in the audience now that wants to come up for public comments, please come on up.
Are we allowed to just make general comment? I mean, it's not exactly specific to
Correct.
that item?
Whatever you want to say in 3 minutes.
Okay, Bonnie
I
Cintron.
believe Bonnie has a
What?
4 minutes.
Bonnie Cintron, 14770 Lewis. It's an emotional evening because after seeing everyone honored, Mr. Senra and especially Mirta, and the boys, I was here earlier and saw the team, the soccer team and the baseball team, so I'm sort of shaky. But you all have a copy of my comments regarding the veterans. Oh, I just hope you'll read them thoughtfully and carefully. And that's exactly what brings me to what I want to say in general. I think that all of the municipal planning and governing has to be done very thoughtfully and carefully. And I guess because of my age, I feel like maybe I should offer some advice that I would be entitled to do that. I do not pretend to understand the complicated issues concerning budgeting and taxation, but there are very talented people in this town who do. And if you want to perform the duties of your office proficiently and justly, you will pay close attention to their voices. I do know enough about what makes good sense and what is fair and honest. So I know that your primary duty is to listen to the will of the people. Some of you may not be career politicians, and you generally want to follow the voices of the people of this town, but others of you may think that by following the footsteps of other politicians who are always seeking ways to increase the tax base and to grow beautifully, that you will somehow enhance your careers. Please think about what your goals should be. And think and remember that the original concept for this town must be honored and preserved. The image of what Miami Lakes was supposed to be is what brought people here to live in the first place. So do not destroy that image, and do your governing according to the charter and the Constitution, and you'll keep the people happy. Thank you.
Thank you, Bonnie.
Good evening. My name is Juliana Correa. I live in 6320 Simmons Street, Miami Lakes, Florida. I just am here as a Girl Scout representative of Troop 902 stationed in Miami Lakes. I would like to take this opportunity to thank not only Mr. Senra, who helped me with the project, but also the Miami Lakes Town Foundation. I have been working with Gigi's Playhouse and Angel's Reach on my reading project for my Girl Scout Gold Award project, which is the highest award you can get in the Girl Scout program. I am a lifetime member, and my troop recently have given me that honor as my 13 years of service. With the generosity of the foundation and also Mr. Senra, I've been able to work with 50 different students with Down syndrome, autism, and different cognitive disabilities on their learning skills. Received a recordable book with their parents' voice can be recorded into it so they can practice their reading forever, and they also have a memento of their parents' voices. In addition, I've gotten different town leaders such as the mayor and also Officer Amador and many others to help participate, and I would just like to thank you all so much for not only your support but also your generosity. Thank you so much. Oh, one final comment. Tomorrow at Gigi's Playhouse, right next to Casa Habana, at 5:30 we're going to be having a project reveal, and then the students will also be having their weekly cooking class, so feel free to stop by and see the project. Thank you so much. Have a great night.
And Juliana, I mean, just wanted to share this with the community. I mean, you've been involved here in the town. I think I saw it. Was it your mom that sent the picture of you? Events.
Yes.
So, like, when we talk about kids growing up in our community, Nancy Simon, who literally hasn't been on, think about how many years ago that is, and you were like sitting right next to her reading a book. Like, that's so amazing. And for you to do that today, I don't know if you guys know this, but these books are so awesome where you actually read the book, and now the kids that go back, I had to like learn. I've never dealt with that before. You have to touch the bundle. It was like the what's the beanstalk? What's that story? Jack and the Beanstalk. And I'm reading the book, but you have to click on each one to record and you go back and you turn the pages, and there it is. It comes to life. So that's really cool. But I wanted to showcase you because just being involved, all these, how old are you now?
I'm 18.
I mean, think of how awesome that is, you know, from a little kid at our events to an 18-year-old now. I mean, that is, and doing incredible things. That's truly awesome. So thank you for being a great example for the youth in our community.
Thank you. The town has made it so easy to be a part of the community. Thank you so much.
everybody, Mr. Mayor and council and people. My name is Gary Snow. I'm at 14718 Breckness Place in Miami Lakes, and I operate Snow's Jewelers at 6837 Main Street. And if you don't know, I'm the original tenant, signed a lease 40 years ago, and was honored here a couple of months ago. I recently heard that the council is going to consider closing Main Street on Saturday and Sunday and making it a pedestrian walkway. As a tenant, I oppose that if that's true, and I don't think it would be good for business, nor it would be considered to older people with the heat as it is today, making them park behind a hotel or behind the shopping center and have to walk in. That should be a consideration, also consideration for the rain that's going on all the time. Should not close the street. To the best of my knowledge, the street closes Saturday night and Friday night, mostly because the kids come in on the weekend for the movies. You know, I have no objection to that. I think that's a good idea, especially with the kids and cars coming down the street. Some of the cars come very fast. Okay, it might be a good idea to put some speed bumps there, you know, to consider that. But as far as business-wise, I don't think it's a good idea for all the tenants. And the other thing that, like I say, I only heard about this, and I don't know if it's true or not, if you're going to consider that. But if you should consider it, you should invite the tenants that are paying rent on Main Street and doing business there so they can give their opinion. Again, I only heard about it, and that's the reason I'm here, you know. So if comes to a vote, I vote against it. I'm not opposed to Friday night closing it or Saturday night to keep the traffic off and the kids that are in the street. But again, as a tenant, I've been here 40 years, and I think it would be a detriment to close the street to traffic on Saturday. Thank you.
Thanks, Gary.
Good evening, Esperanza Reynolds, 8465 Mentiez Terrace. We are quite a few property owners that came to discuss the NSD, the Special Taxing District. So I would like anyone that came from Section 1 to stand up. And we figure that if everyone speaks for 3 minutes, that would be quite the chore. So I have comments that we have consolidated, but some want to speak, and we're going to start with the statesman of our Section 1, Mr. Harry Bollinger.
Thank you. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen of the council. I wanted to say first that I appreciate very much the work that you've been doing and are doing and have done, and I suspect will continue doing. But I also wanted to discuss some of the items that I've heard being bandied around for added taxes for me on my property in Lake Glen Ellen. And one of those items I wanted to discuss is the license plate reader system for the guard gate. And my life's work in my career was working in law enforcement, so I'm quite familiar with the license plate reader system. I'll be the first to say that they're extremely effective. Very good system, very good expenditure of money, up to a point. The system was designed as intended and is most effective when it is used as was laid out to do, and that is to install the license plate readers either at the entrance points of the town or through highways, through traffic where you have high volume traffic, and that picks up movement of the criminal element from one area to another, and they're very effective in doing that. The problem comes in, and the waste of money and time comes in when you install license plate readers beyond that entry point. So once the traffic has already gone through a license plate reader, it has already been identified or cleared. So to continue passing through more license plate readers does not produce any more new criminals. And putting license plate reader associated with the police system at the guard gate is about as effective as putting one at the end of our driveways to capture the cars coming in, because you're going to get the same traffic in Section 1. We have 823 properties inside the gate. Most of those people are going out in the morning to go to work, they come back in the evening, they go out to grocery shop, they come back. So to read that same plate in and out all the time is not effective at all. And if to get the stray criminal coming in, he's likely already been read at the entry point to the town. So I think it's important that the council remember to consider that when you're going to expend money, don't expend it on something that's not needed. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mayor, council members, Boris Foster, 15221 Menteith Place. I know some council members spent hours with the town staff reviewing the NSD's budgets, and I'm grateful for the efforts and the results because I noticed the new budgets, and where there were previously placeholders for certain items, those items have now been zeroed out. And I hope that your efforts in the future, the advisory boards will, instead of hoarding money, will lower the owner's taxes. My second point has to do regarding Section 1. There's a misconception that the board is doing the community's wishes. There's very little communication between the board members and the owners they're supposed to represent. Residents attending the advisory board meetings can give their 3-minute comments. I really don't know what happens in each of the HOA meetings, but outside those meetings, there's no association-wide communication except for the yearly wrong direction, right direction mailer. Also, ideally, this council thought that the 7 members in attendance would represent all 7 HOAs. There are usually only 4 or 5 committee members at any of these meetings. And most of the budget with members didn't have the this is about the new method of the town dividing the $150,000 charges between the NSDs. Previously, there was a 10% of the NSD operating budget of the operating NSD's budget was charged to that NSD. I know that Loch Lomond paid the most and objected because they paid the most because they had the most expensive guards, but their guardhouse was a single lane coming in and out. But paying a percentage of a total cost is a very common way to calculate expenses or income. In a restaurant, one table has lobster, another has salad. The waiter is still doing this service in both equally, but the tip is largely different. And realtors, they sell a home for $2 million. One is sold for $500,000. It's throughout our economy. In every sector, this is the way expenses and income are allocated by a percentage of the amount allocated to that user. The new method is based on the number of owners and is less practical. It carries little relation to the services offered. It is the gate area that's being serviced by the town, not the owners. Under this model, it doesn't matter if an NSD has 1, 2, I'll wrap it up, or 5. It's going to pay less. It's going to pay less than one that had one gate, but more residents. It really doesn't make sense. Thank you.
Thank you.
On behalf of the community, Lake Glen Ellen, Bertha Alvarez, who lives in Lake Glen Ellen, I'm upset that the advisory board decided to install speed bumps at the guard gate. I only find out about the advisory board meeting when signs are placed at the guard gate. Message number 2, from Florentino Amaro, Lake Glen Ellen. I'm very upset that the advisory board decided to install speed bumps at the guard gate. I am not comfortable that the town's council follows the advice of the advisory board. Lake Glen Ellen, Rick Gonzalez. I'm upset that the advisory board decided to install speed bumps at the guard gate. It's a waste of residents' money. I did not know that Section 1 property taxes are based on advisory board decisions. Modesto Jimenez from Lake Glen Ellen. Please do not change anything on the guard gate. Leave things the way they are. Sylvia Gonzalez, Esquire, from Lake Glen Ellen. On behalf of myself, Sylvia Maria Gonzalez, and my husband Manuel Alvarez, we do not recall receiving information from our board representatives before or after each advisory board meeting. We also do not recall receiving notice of meetings. We do not agree with the use of the monies we pay in taxes to go towards any items that the residents does not specifically vote for. We do not agree with the speed bumps being installed, as they will not enhance the value of our property, and we believe they will only cause damage to our vehicles over time. Lake Glen Ellen, William Sanabria from Dumbarton. I did not know there was a guard gate advisory board. I am very upset about the installation of speed bumps at the guard gate. Should not be done. This one is a long one. Resident Claudia Luces. So I hope I'm not being timed because I'm doing a lot of folks. I am respectfully requesting my comments to be read. Good evening, Town Council. I would like to convey my opinion to the permanent band shell that is being proposed to be constructed at Veterans Park. We come back to the fundamental question of whether we can afford another project on our budget. The patience of the tax-paying residents continues to be tested by threats of having to cut police services to balance the budget. I am certain there are other line items that can be adjusted before you consider cutting the police safety allocation. Those scare tactics will not work. Your first and foremost duty to the community is safety. And now there is discussion on a band shell to be constructed and maintained, which will result in additional costs. The answer should be a resounding no. You can't afford it, end of story. You should also take into account the residents that live by the park and their concerns, walking by the park almost on a daily basis. I see many of the so-called prohibited activities taking place. No dogs, and yet there are dogs there all the time. No bikes, no skating on the walking trails, and yet it happens. Not to mention the myriad of stationary paid-for bikes that are left on the sidewalk and even at the entrance ways to the park, interrupting the flow of residents that walk, bike, or try to enter and exit the park. A gentleman who used to run laps in the park no longer does so because he was almost hit by a bike. The point is, you can't manage what you have, so let's stop creating projects and manage what exists today. On the issue of the special taxing districts, I firmly object to any additional expenditures being proposed beyond what is legally allowed. There appears to be an increase in administrative cost to Section 1, and the proposed rate is the same, or $340 that was proposed before items were recognized as not being within the purview of the advisory board because they are outside the intent of the original ordinance. It makes us feel as though to charge per the number of residents was a move to either penalize us for being vocal or to utilize all funds that were in placeholders and not return the monies back to the community. This is abusive. This is a way to justify taxation without representation. We need to understand what is the town's policy detailing the method for allocating overhead among budget departments. Would hate to think that you're allocating overhead to the special taxing district, then to other departments, and finally to Section 1. For example, how many ways are you charging for park-related staff? If you have a list of the dollar amounts the town charges for overhead, I would certainly like to review that. It is incredible that the total charge of $340 remains the same because during the July 31st meeting, the cost of administration was increased for Section 1. That is outrageous. Speed bumps are not necessary at a guard gate with 3 stop signs that are in incredible proximity to the gate. The equipment installed is flimsy, and that is why there are constant issues with it. Perhaps this should have been left alone. I remain adamant, much to the dismay of many, that the town's involvement in the special taxing district has only created issues for the resident of Section 1. There was a poll created specifically on the installation and cost involved with the speed bumps, and the results are telling. I guess this is something that happened on Facebook, because I don't know. 59 against speed bumps and 8 in favor. Residents do not want them. Time to respect the wishes of residents. From the Anchorage, James Hamilton writes, my name is James Hamilton, and I live in the Anchorage Homeowners Association, which is part of Section 1 Gargate District. I do not receive information from my board of representatives before, after each advisory board meeting. I only find out about the advisory board meetings when signs are placed at the Gargate. I did know that Section 1 property taxes are based on advisory board decisions. I am not comfortable that the town's council follows the advice of advisory boards. From Lake Cynthia, Frank San Miguel, I do not want cameras or speed bumps installed at the Gargate. No improvement at the Gargate that will increase my taxes without my vote. I will be watching how the council votes on this matter. And finally, from Alexandra, David Ashe says, I don't receive information about the Gargate Advisory Board. Is there a website that has that information? I think installing speed bumps at the Gargate is a good idea. So that was a different thing. Sorry, there was one more that was given to me, and that is from Mr. Akan. I think he may still be here. And he said, do not need stop bumps. Mr. Harry Ballinger thought that he was being timed, so he has 2 more points. Can he finish? Mr. Ballinger?
If any one of the other residents that are here that are not speaking would like to give him their time.
Thank you very much. I failed to realize that I wasn't bound by the 3-minute warning that fired over my head. The other thing I wanted to discuss with you, when the special taxing district was being proposed, I understood from all that I was hearing, and I understood from reading the ordinance after it passed, and in creating the district, that the 841 or 823 without the people outside